A long time ago, a man lived in a village who had a horse and 4 sons. He loved all his sons very much, but they were all very foolish. When the man died, his sons started arguing about who would take care of the horse. In the end, they decided to cut the horse into 4 parts so that each brother could keep 1 leg, but they couldn't figure out how to divide the rest of the horse. While they were standing near the horse and thinking, a man passed by and asked what the problem was. One brother replied, "We're 4 brothers. How can we divide this horse equally?" The man said, "That's easy. Just sell the horse and divide the money." The brothers liked the idea and started walking toward the city to sell the horse. On the way, they reached a forest, and by night they were tired and fell asleep. A thief came by and saw that they were sleeping deeply. He slowly untied the horse and took it away. Later in the night, one of the brothers woke up and saw that the horse was gone. He quickly woke the others and said, "Someone stole our horse." One brother yawned and said, "Go to sleep. Maybe Ramzan Khan took it. We'll see in the morning." In the morning, they started looking for Ramzan Khan. On the way, they saw camel footprints. One said, "These are camel prints." Another said, "They're from a male camel." The third said, "The camel was blind in 1 eye." And the fourth added, "It broke its rope and ran away." Soon they met a worried man on the road who asked, "Have you seen a camel?" One brother said, "A male one?" Another said, "Blind in 1 eye?" Another said, "It broke the rope and ran." The man said, "That's exactly my camel. Where did you see it?" The brothers said, "We didn't see any camel. Go look elsewhere." The man replied, "You know so much about my camel. Maybe you stole it. Come with me to the king." The brothers agreed, and they all went to the king. On the way, they saw human footprints. One brother said, "These are a woman's prints." Another said, "She looks angry." The third added, "She's pregnant." And the fourth said, "She left home at night." Then a man came running and asked, "Did you see a woman?" The brothers told him everything they thought. The man said, "Yes, that's my wife. Where is she?" The brothers replied, "We didn't see her." The man said, "How can you know so much and still deny it? You must have taken her." Now both men thought the brothers were guilty. The camel's owner said, "They told me everything about my camel and then said they didn't see it. They must have stolen it." The other man added, "They described my wife exactly, so they must have kidnapped her." The king asked the 4 brothers to defend themselves. They said, "Sir, Ramzan Khan stole our horse." Ramzan Khan was called and said, "I know nothing. They are blaming me for no reason." The king asked, "Did any of you see Ramzan Khan steal your horse?" The brothers said, "No, we didn't." The king said, "If you didn't see it, how can you accuse him? And these men are accusing you too." The brothers replied, "Sir, we have the knowledge of the unseen. That's how we know things." The king said, "All right, I'll test you. If you really know the unseen, you'll pass." The king then took a pomegranate, locked it in a box, and asked, "Tell me what's inside." The first brother said, "It's round." The second said, "It has a crown." The third said, "It has seeds." The fourth said, "It's a pomegranate." The king was amazed and believed them. He told Ramzan Khan to return their horse or pay for it. Then he told the others to go search for their camel and wife. The brothers took the money and bought goats and sheep. On their way back home, they stopped to rest in a forest. As they slept, one of the brothers woke up and saw a baby goat climbing a tree and the sheep shaking their heads. He woke the others and said, "Get up. The goats are breaking branches and the sheep are planning to kill us." The brothers got scared and ran away, leaving the animals behind. A sheep followed them. One brother threw a stone and hit it. He shouted, "I killed one, run faster." They ran a long distance and got tired. One brother said, "Let's count to see if we're all here." But while counting, each forgot to count himself and thought one was missing. They got scared, thinking one of them was lost. A man on a horse passed by and saw what was happening. He said, "If I count you correctly, what will you give me?" They said, "We'll become your slaves." The horsemen held each of their hands and counted the moan. 2, 3, 4. The brothers were happy and said, "From now on, we're your slaves." The horsemen asked, "Why were you running?" They said, "Our goats are breaking sticks and the sheep are planning to kill us." The horsemen laughed and said, "Come, I'll make peace between you and your animals." Back in the forest, they saw one dead sheep. The brothers said, "This one was planning to kill us." The horseman calmed the rest of the animals and took them home, along with the 4 brothers. He gave each brother a task. One had to feed the animals, one had to cut grass for the oxen, one had to care for his sick mother and make sure not even a fly sat on her. The last had to protect the wheat crop. The one caring for the mother sat with a stick and hit flies, accidentally hitting her so hard that she died. He thought she was sleeping and covered her with a sheet. The one with the oxen thought the job was hard, so he killed both oxen and buried their heads in hay, thinking they'd look like they were eating. The one guarding the wheat crop decided it was too much, so he set it on fire to roast it for the old woman. The one watching the sheep saw wolves eating them and thought the village dogs must be starving, so he let them eat the sheep. When the horseman returned, he asked, "Did you take care of my mother?" The brother said, "She's resting." When the man saw her dead, he cried. He went to check the oxen, they were dead. The wheat crop burned, the sheep gone. He said, "You've ruined my life, but because you're fools, I forgive you. Just go dig a deep grave for my mother." They went to the graveyard. One dropped the shovel, the other listened to the ground and said, "It's deeper than a mine." They all agreed and returned, thinking the grave was deep enough. The horseman asked, "Already done?" They said, "Yes, we worked hard." But when they went back, the grave was missing. The horseman got angry and told them to bring the body. They carried the body on a cot, but it fell off somewhere on the way. When they arrived at the graveyard, the body was gone. The horseman asked, "Where is my mother?" They said, "She ran away." The horseman said, "How can a dead body run away? Go find her, or I'll bury you instead." On the way, they saw an old woman gathering firewood. They said, "Why are you here? Your son is looking for you." They tied her up and took her to the horseman, saying, "Here's your mother." The horseman saw her and apologized. Then he found his real mother's body, buried her, and kicked the foolish brothers out of his house forever.